Hey, yeah, it's James. Today I'm going to be answering some common questions about fasting. So, what is fasting? So, fasting is when you temporarily sacrifice something and go without something to show your devotion and dedication to God. And how often you fast is kind of dependent on why you fast and kind of what you're going for. For me, I fast as a lifestyle, as a kind of spiritual discipline. It's just like a normal thing, and I guess why I fast is because I want to grow a relationship with God. I want intimacy with God. I want to know Him more and love Him more, and I want Him to purify me so that my heart is right, and I just honour Him. And where I get the whole thing of fasting as a lifestyle, apart from the fact that lots of people before me have, chosen to live this way as well. But when Jesus talks about fasting in Matthew 6 verses 16 to 18, he says, when you fast, do it like this, don't do it like that. Don't be like the Pharisees, don't do it to impress people, blah, blah, blah. But when you fast, I want you to kind of make it not obvious. So as a side note, I only tell people on a need-to-know basis. So when I was living at home, for example, my family knew because I wasn't eating. I wasn't at the dinner table. But Jesus says when you fast rather than if you fast. And so the way I understand that is I want to fast regularly enough for it to be a matter of when rather than a matter of if. And so for me, I wouldn't see it like once a year as a matter of when. I wouldn't see every 6 months as that either. But within that, there's so much freedom. And what I do is I just let the Holy Spirit lead me and direct how much I fast in different seasons. So I fasted more sometimes and less at others. I've had little breaks from fasting. And then, does it need to be food? So I feel like that's a question that people often want to know. And before I answer it properly, I think the question I would always ask is, are you asking because you want it to be more costly or less, and more sacrificial or less? Because you might sense that the Holy Spirit's kind of put on your heart to start fasting or something, but if it could be easier, that'd be great. And I'm not sure easier is the point, but no, I don't think it needs to be food. I know people who've done social media fasts, and I found it so helpful. Or people who have fasted from using their phone or something like that. There's also such thing as a Daniel fast, which is meats and treats. So if you had like classic meat, carbs and veg for dinner, you would just have carbs and veg. And if you're veg or vegan, you'd have the carbs and veg without the meat substitute, and then you wouldn't have dessert either. And that's one way to do it, and that's a really cool way of starting doing like longer fasts, extended fasts, because you're still eating like potatoes and rice and veg and fruit and stuff. So another way to do it is to fast kind of food but not drink, and so you have like tea, coffee, juice, smoothie, whatever. Otherwise you can do a water fast, which is where you only drink water. Some people fast stuff when they think actually they just feel the Lord telling them to not be so addicted to social media or caffeine or sugar or whatever it is. As I say, I don't think easier is the point. I think sacrificial and costly is the point. And then how do you start fasting? So if you can just go a full day of just not eating and just go from eating to missing a day, then I would say do that. If that seems really intimidating to you, so what I used to do, because I used to eat loads, is that I'd have breakfast, mid-morning snack, lunch, mid-afternoon snack and dinner. Literally ate so much. So what I did is for a whole month, it was like 1 day a week. So 1 day a week for a month, I wouldn't have breakfast. And that was that. And then for the next month, I didn't have breakfast or my mid-morning snack. So that's 2 months. And then on the third month, I didn't have anything up until dinner, but then I had dinner. And then in the fourth month, I went a whole day. Some practical tips. In the mornings I don't drink any more water than I need to, but kind of after lunchtime, or lunchtime obviously, you're not eating, but after lunchtime I would normally start to drink a little bit more water. Another thing is fasting breath, that's what I call it. And it's not at all like a bad case of morning breath, but it's not that bad really, but it's just, I'm conscious of it, that I can smell my breath and it just smells like I haven't eaten anything basically. So it's not a big deal, but sometimes I will, if I go out and like see friends or something, I'll go around someone's house, then I might have chewing gum, or if I go to a life group or something, then I would maybe have like a decaf coffee or something with a little bit of milk in it. And then the other thing is the morning after, I struggle a little bit, or I used to struggle a lot. I still do when I do extended fasts, with basically like desiring food, and it gets a bit weird and I'm like, I need food, and I don't need food. I've just gone a day without it. I think I'll be fine from having like 3 breakfasts. So yeah, just something to be aware of. So there you are, there's some like practical stuff on fasting and also why we do it. How often does it need to be food? Yeah, so just give it a go basically, and enjoy it. You'll get used to it. It's fun after a while. Have an amazing week, and I will see you next time.